The future of the Lethbridge region's trade and logistics corridor was the theme of an event held Thursday at Lethbridge Airport. The initiative by Economic Development Lethbridge is called Canada's Western Gateway Trade and Logistics Corridor. The conversation featured local business owners, professional associations, and government leaders. BCN's Landon Hickok has more on this story.
Canada's Western Gateway is a 3-year project focusing on bringing logistics, warehousing, and cross-border trade, and is financially supported by 7 municipalities along the corridor. As a critical junction to the multinational supply chain network, Thursday's event was meant to review and enhance the state of Lethbridge's place on the global market.
I'm feeling really optimistic because the feedback at today's event has been fantastic. Everybody's been able to build their network, learn new information about the sector, and have some important takeaways.
U.S. tariffs have been the main focus of conversation for the better part of the last year. According to a study by the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, Lethbridge is marked as the 10th most vulnerable municipality in all of Canada to the impacts of U.S. tariffs. But during Thursday's networking event, other challenges and areas of opportunity for growth were brought up on how to make the corridor more efficient to support industry and business partners.
We're at a point now where we're trying to gather information, evaluate what are those challenges and opportunities, and then where can we make the best impact to support the business in this region? We've heard things that were pretty lackluster in terms of truck stops. Our truck stops aren't very appealing, and that can affect a driver's lifestyle. We've heard that there's a mismatch between rail shipments going north and south, trying to match that import and export so that rail cars aren't traveling empty. We've heard today from organizations like PTAC and PMTC that there's change needed in driver training. There's abuse in the system.
Lethbridge is also attempting to find its place with a new wave of technologies and tactics constantly changing the industry. As trade and logistics act as an invisible hand to some in day-to-day society, there is a push to get young people educated, excited, and involved in the industry.
There are so many technologies. The issue is trying to figure out which one is going to lead the way to the future. So we have things like hydrogen fuel being explored. We've been talking about electrification of vehicles, autonomous vehicles for the longest time. For me, it's going to be not so much the technology as the way it's embraced to be more efficient in terms of our supply chains. I'm particularly watchful of artificial intelligence and what that might do to the supply chain.
Those are the things that are exciting, innovative, but you don't typically think of when you think transportation and logistics. And so the next generation, they're going to be the future that are going to be using these new tools and being able to drive productivity and efficiency throughout the transportation and logistics industry.
With 2 acclaimed post-secondary institutions in the city, industry partners say as long as any disconnect between academia and industry is mended, there is always optimism for the future of trade in this region. For Bridge City News, I'm Landon Hickok.